This time, I will explain that the model of the position of upper moon that appears in Demonslayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, is an infectious disease. First, let's talk about the infectious disease that upper rank 6's Daki and Gyutaro were modeled after. Her younger sister Daki was ostensibly a courtesan in a red light district, and her popularity as a courtesan was tremendous. Behind the scenes, as a demon, he used blood demon art, which controlled the obi to cause many courtesans to disappear. And it is known that Daki's real name is Yun. There is an infectious disease with the character Yun in the name that was actually prevalent in the red light districts of the Edo period. It's a sexually transmitted disease called syphilis. It is said that the infection rate of syphilis among prostitutes who worked as courtesans in red light districts during the Edo period was over 50%. Daki's name Yum is said to be based on the disease that her mother was infected with, so it is said that it is based on syphilis. And it is said that the infectious disease that the main body, Gyutaro, was modeled after is congenital syphilis. Congenital syphilis is a chronic multisystem infection in which syphilis crosses the placenta and is transmitted from mother to fetus. One of the symptoms is that it leads to tooth hypoplasia, and Gyutaro's human-era teeth show the same hypoplastic symptoms. There is a high possibility that Daki and Gyutaro's mother was infected with syphilis, so it would not be surprising if Gyutaro had congenital syphilis. Next, let's talk about the infectious disease that was the model for upper rank 5 Gyako. Gyako is always in a pot and has a strange shape, even among demons. Furthermore, the infection that Gyako was modeled after is thought to be amoebic dysentery, as it attacks fish and water-related attacks. Amoebic dysentery is an infectious disease caused by a parasite called amoeba that enters drinking water, etc. Basically, it is an infectious disease that is often seen in developing countries with poor sanitary conditions, but in Japan there are about 10,000 people infected each year. Eating seafood contaminated with amoebic dysentery can also cause infection and form pot-shaped tumors. Gyako and amoebic dysentery have many things in common, such as water, fish, and pots, so this infectious disease is said to be a model. Next, let's talk about the infectious disease that served as the model for upper rank for Hantingu. Hantingu has an impressive large bump on its head, and it is said that this bump may be an infectious disease. That infectious disease is Hansen's disease. Symptoms of Hansen's disease include bumps and swelling of the skin. Although the infectivity itself is low, it is transmitted to humans by flies and insects infected with a bacteria called Mycobacterium leprae. Hansen's disease is also known as leprosy, and in the past infected people were sometimes subject to discrimination due to their appearance and fear of infection. And leprosy is called libu in Japanese. Lai has a similar pronunciation as lai in English. In other words, laibayu means lie illness. If you think about it that way, it's similar to how Hantingu lied about being blind and stole money and goods during the human era. Next, let's talk about the infectious disease that was the model for upper rank 3 Akaza. It is said that the infectious disease that became the model for Akaza may be measles. Measles used to be called Akamogasa in Japan, and the name is similar to Akaza, very similar in Japanese. In modern times, vaccines have made measles a disease that is rarely life-threatening. But in Japan during the Edo period, it was an epidemic that killed more than 200,000 people. The tattoo on Akaza's body resembles a tag, used as a talisman for measles in the Edo period. And it is said that measles may be the infectious disease that Akaza was modeled after. Next, let's talk about the infectious disease that served as the model for upper rank to Doma. Doma uses the blood demon art of ice. But if you inhale too much of that ice, your lungs will die. This attack resembles a certain infectious disease. That infectious disease is tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is a disease that can be cured with drugs in modern times. But in the past, it was an infectious disease that was feared as incurable and claimed the lives of men and women of all ages. It is counted as one of the world's 3 major infectious diseases, and its symptoms include cough, phlegm, and chest pain. In the worst case, the lungs may die because the symptoms of Doma's ice attack and tuberculosis are similar. It is said that the infectious disease that Doma was modeled after is tuberculosis. Lastly, let's talk about the infectious disease that was the model for Upper Rank 1 Kokushibo. Kokushibo was the strongest swordsman in the position of Upper Moon and tormented the demonslayer corps. It is said that the infectious disease that Kokushibo was modeled after is plague. Plague is called Kokushibu in Japan because it causes black bruises all over the body. Plague is a terrifying infectious disease that causes sudden fevers and headaches and claimed the lives of 50 million people in the 14th century. The names Kokushibo and Kokushibu are similar, and the bow in Kokushibo means to steal or devour, which makes it reminiscent of plague, which took the lives of many people. Because of this, it is said that the infectious disease that Kokushibo was modeled after is the plague. These are the infectious diseases that served as the model for the position of Upper Moon. Incidentally, it is said that Musen Kibitsuji, the cause of demons, is modeled after a certain disease. That disease is cancer. Cancer is the strongest class of disease born from the human body. And Musen Kibitsuji is also the strongest living thing born from the human body. Furthermore, radiation containing sunlight is considered to be an effective treatment for cancer. And Musen Kibitsuji also has a weakness for sunlight. What did you think? This time, I explained that the model of the position of Upper Moon that appears in Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, is an infectious disease. This is just a consideration and is not officially acknowledged. However, it is common in Japanese manga that there are hidden settings that are not officially announced. I would be happy if you enjoyed it as a review. What did you think? I would be happy if I could get even just one person interested and watching Japanese anime manga. I will post again. So please subscribe to the channel if you like.